What's going on, everybody? It's Jay Coffee Talk. Thanks everyone for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, take a quick moment, subscribe, hit the bell, hit the thumbs up, stay up on the topics, and always join the conversation. Get in the comments. It's a big part of my channel, but we talk it all over here: music, news, sports, everything else. Now you guys see the title of the video, the topic, what we're talking about: China Mac. Now, before I get all into, what's going on with China Mac, I just want to say that I am a fan of China Mac's, of his movement, what he's trying to do. I'm rooting for the dude. I'm pulling for him. It's a interesting story how he tried to change his life while he was away on that 10-year bid, try to educate himself and come up with a plan for when he came home, which what he is trying to do now. And he actually, it's kind of crazy. You always hear about that 10-year bid that he did, but he did like a 3-year bid before that. And I don't even think he was home that long before he got into the altercation, the incident with Jin, and got hit with the 10 years. But nonetheless, he's trying to do things differently, and he's doing pretty well. And I think that's dope. If you guys watch my channel, I always advise people, to stay away from drugs, to stay away from the streets. I always put out there, though, that I am a square. You know what I mean? I'm a working stiff. I'm a working man, a family man. And it's cool to see, though, that he tried to really make things better, change his situation. And that's why I'm pulling for him. And I think his music's pretty good too. I don't know what you guys think of China Mac and his music and everything. Let me know in the comments. I definitely would like to hear what you guys got to say. But let's get into what's going on right now. The reason that I'm making this video is there was some alleged paperwork against China Mac, and he's addressed it on Instagram, one of his recent posts, and on his most recent YouTube video on, China Mac on his YouTube, China Mac TV, on his YouTube channel. And I don't know, man. It's kind of a not crazy. It's just kind of strange the way that it came about. But that's what happens when you're, you're in the spotlight, so to speak. It's what happens. All kinds of things come out. We know that. We've seen it with a lot of other people. Everything comes out the woodwork, anything from your life, you know what I mean? And China Mac is speaking on it off the rip. So, that could tell you a couple things. It could tell you that it's BS, and he wants to he's not trying to back down from this situation, or it could tell you that he just wants to appear that way. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. No one knows right now if this is real or not, but he's talking about it. So, and before I continue, I just want to say I've never been to state prison. Okay. In New York State, I have a lot of friends that I have. And when I say a lot, I mean 20, 30, 40. Like, I know a lot of people that have been upstate, and not just people I know, people who's actually my friends, and some that actually, were in this very prison, where this alleged paperwork is supposed to be from, Auburn. And I'll just say real quick before I move on also, that if this did turn out to be real, honestly, you guys can, say what you got to say. I don't even really care. I really don't. I don't know. But like the allegations are that he was caught in the yard, and he went to the guard and he told. If he did, he did. I don't know. I mean, doesn't got nothing to do with me. Like I said, this man did a lot of prison time, and he doesn't seem to be any kind of snitch, like out in the streets. You know what I mean? Like, if that was the case, like he had flat out told on people on the streets, that would have been something that would have surfaced right away against him. But who knows about what happened with this? And I'll tell you, from people that I know that have been upstate, who are stand-up dudes, have told me, man, behind those walls, there's a lot of people who are in the street who don't back down from anything, who have gotten cut and told, who have, signed into PC because they're afraid for their life. Like it's not any type of game when you're upstate. You know what I mean? And the streets are dangerous as well. But what I'm saying is there's a lot of people that they can hide, they can run away and do different things like that. When you're in prison, it's a lot different. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, like I said, I don't really care about that. I'm not about glorifying, that kind of lifestyle. But I'm saying he seems to want to set the record straight that this is not true. Now, real quick, Tragedy Khadafi is whose show or podcast or whatever you want to call it that he was on when he spoke about this, and he said Traj had got the paperwork. Someone had brought him the paperwork, and he asked him about it before they went on for the interview and everything. He brought it up, away from everyone, which is respectful. I totally respect that. And I gotta say, man, I didn't know that Tragedy Khadafi had any kind of platform like this, but I mean, it seems like everybody does. I'm not sure. He has some female that he does the show with, and I'm sure a lot of you guys remember Tragedy from working with Capone and Noriega, and the whole Queensbridge, Ty Nitty, Prodigy, Mobb Deep, Infamous Mob, and all them. And he was on the LA track. That was Mobb Deep always would say they were the only ones back then to really stand up against the West and the East Coast West Coast beef. And he even was in the video to the song, which I remember. I feel like Prodigy's verse got cut out of it and he didn't appear in the video, but nonetheless you might remember him from there. And from Prodigy's audio book, I believe him and Noriega had beef. It's kind of crazy with all them Queensbridge dudes. It seems like all of them dudes fell out and had beef with each other at some point. Like if you go back and look about all these dudes, like see Capone and Noriega, everyone I mentioned, Ty Nitty, Prodigy, Tragedy, Khadafi, it seems like they all had beef at one point with each other. But I don't know. He pulled him aside, like I said, before the show started, and I respect that. I respect that he tried to do that. He just didn't try to put him on blast, on point, or I'm sorry, not on point, like on the spot, right on the show. Because even if it was lie and BS, it might just catch him off guard to where he looks all kind of funny and crazy, like what? And then people make assumptions from it, like, oh man, he's lying. This is for real. But I don't know, man. He decided, though, this is what he spoke about on his Instagram post, and he showed the clip in the YouTube video. He decided to bring it up during the interview. He had already told Tragedy, oh, yo, this is fake, and that's what he is saying. That's the bottom line of what China Mac's saying, is that the paperwork is fake. It's an incident report from Auburn, and he's saying it's fake. Now, I'm surprised. I don't know. Like, I saw another YouTube video on the same subject, and I saw people saying, like, who would do this, who would make this fake paperwork. I don't know. That is an interesting point. This is a kind of a different route to go about to say someone's a snitch, because we've seen paperwork in the past that's been, people has, said it's fake and everything like that. But for the paperwork to be like prison paperwork, it's just kind of a crazy route to go. So I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't think this is the last that we're going to hear of this. This is definitely going to be brought up more and more. And like I said, I know a lot of people who've been to prison, and that China Mac's like defense when he was talking about it was he had someone who was like with him but wasn't on camera, and he was like, yo, look at this, what an incident report looks like. This, does it look like this? So like I said, there's a lot of people who've been to prison, and they might be able to tell just from looking at it or not, if it's not necessarily, it could still be fake, but like how he's saying, does it even look like this? If it does or not, people will definitely be able to tell. Now, we don't have a clear picture of this paperwork yet. I don't know if it will be available. Who has it right now? I don't know, if Tragedy, I don't know, like, is gonna put it out. I don't know. Like, what do you guys think about this? Does it, like, everything, your thoughts all on this. I want to hear now. Basically, that's what I'm saying is we don't know. I don't, you know what I mean? But it could go either way. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if it is not, like, even if it is BS, it could continue as, you know what I mean? Like a tarnish on him. You know what I'm saying? A stain on his jacket, so to speak, even if it is BS, because that's the way it goes, you know, like, even if something's false, sometimes there's still going to be people that think of that and associate that with your name. You know what I'm saying? And that could become the narrative when talking about someone. Now, let's talk about some other people in the hip hop industry who've had paperwork on them. And, you know, some it didn't affect really, like Drake, maybe the biggest artist in hip hop. And, you know, we could debate that, you know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of artist you consider Drake to be, you know what I'm saying? Some people consider him to be R&B or pop, but I'm just saying, nonetheless, he's massively successful. You can't take that away from him. And, you know, Drake, there's paperwork out there on him. I don't know if a lot of y'all know that. There was a Toronto rapper, I forget what the man's name was, but he was on a campaign to go around and do interviews and talk about, you know, Drake being a snitch, so to speak. And what happened was Drake had went back home to Toronto. Make a long story short, someone got him. Someone robbed him. I believe they got a chain and maybe some money. But Drake pressed charges. The dude who did it, like, went to prison and everything. And I don't know, you know what I'm saying? It hasn't really affected Drake. No one really seems to care about that. We were just talking about all them Queensbridge dudes, Capone and Noriega. Capone, I'm sure y'all have seen. You could go check it out. Prodigy's audiobook was what really first spoke on it. And then Capone confirmed it to be true. Havoc, of Mobb Deep's brother, you know what I'm saying? He cut a deal to get less time and said he would testify at his Havoc from Mobb Deep's brother trial. His name was Killer Black. I believe he had a murder. He went to the trial, and Capone's story was that he gave a bad testimony, so it actually helped him to get free. So that was the way, you know, he flipped that allegations when they came at him. And I don't know, I haven't really heard that many people speak on it. 50 Cent, that order of protection, which actually just kind of surfaced again recently, and it's kind of a weird situation. It's like the order of protection is real, but it doesn't seem that 50 Cent actually requested it. But then there's other paperwork against 50 that is supposed to be fake. I don't know. It's confusing when it comes to all that. It hasn't, you know what I'm saying? It hasn't really seemed to affect 50's popularity. And Young Dro, and there was another guy who was also on Grand Hustle before. I forget what his name was, if it was Alpha Omega or Governor. There was a couple of different dudes, I don't know, but one of them. And Young Dro was, you know, exposed to have told on one of the Hustle, Grand Hustle members and everything like that. And he was outcasted from the label. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like, that's one of the worst things, you know, in the hip hop world you could be called is a snitch. But I don't know. Like I said, we'll hear more about this whole China Mac situation. But I don't know, man. You know, like, it could be real, it could be false. We don't really know yet. But the fact is he's not backing down from talking about it. Now, something I wanted to add real quick that I noticed as well when I did, when I was, like, you know, doing a little research on this whole topic, is China Mac is on parole until March 22nd of 2020, right? He was talking about on his blog that he had got drunk, on his YouTube video that he had got drunk the night before. So he's wilding. I don't know, like, from everyone I ever known, they are not allowed to drink on parole. Maybe possibly his parole officer lets him. I don't know. I would just be afraid to say stuff like that because we know police and parole and everything is all over the internet. So it was kind of crazy to hear, you know, that he was openly speaking about it. that he was drinking. You know what I'm saying? It would, like I said, he's got so much going for him with this movement and the rap career and the YouTube channel and the podcast and everything to get locked up on a parole violation. You know what I mean? What's it, March? What month is it now? September. Like, he's got 6 months to go, basically. 5.5 months, 6 months to go, and he's off parole. So that would be whack to get violated for something like that. But who knows? I've heard people on federal papers say that they're PO, probation officer, because, the feds, they don't call it parole, they call it probation. That they were allowed to drink alcohol, because, alcohol is legal. But I don't know, man. Who knows? He's not a dumb dude, so I don't know. Maybe his PO lets him drink. I don't know, but I don't know, man. I just kind of wanted to hop on here and talk about this whole situation, tap in with you guys, and see what y'all think about it. What do you think? Do you think this will hurt him? Do you believe it to be true, false? What do you guys think? If the copy of the paperwork gets out, it won't be hard for other people to look at and see if it's authentic or not, or at least make a judgment about it, who have been to prison. But I don't know. That's all I got, you guys. It's Jay Coffee Talk. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day, y'all. I'm out of here. Peace.